Welcome back. Musical tribute acts are now a regular staple of the music scene, but 30 years ago it was almost an unheard of occupation. Then came Morris Bates. The man from Williams Lake Reservation in British Columbia became the first professional Elvis Presley impersonator back in the 1970s and ended up playing the Las Vegas Strip for 10 years and touring all over the world. His new autobiography, Morris as Elvis, the world's greatest Elvis impersonator, details his rise to musical fame. Morris Bates joins me in studio.
Thank you.
Were you a big Elvis fan growing up? Did you go see him?
I wasn't a really big Elvis fan.
Did you ever see him play?
Yeah. I saw him twice, Spokane and Seattle. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't a real fan of his until when he'd done this NBC special in 1968. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd seen some of the movies, and they didn't have the reruns. Like, I never saw Jailhouse Rock and the early movies. I didn't, well, we knew he was in the business, I mean, but we were doing Cream and Deep Purple. And,
right, you had a band. You had your own band.
Yes. So I was in several bands since I was 15 years old and playing, you know, pretty well just about professionally since I first started. Mm-hmm. So we always would do like a couple of Elvis songs, but it wasn't...
But you didn't do the act?
No.
So how did that happen?
Well,
did someone say to you, you look like Elvis?
Well, there was, I mean, I had hair down to here, mm-hmm. you know, and wasn't much of a resemblance. I mean, it was just, we would do some of the Elvis songs because we played a lot on the Indian Reserves, and Elvis and Hank Williams were staples type of thing, mm-hmm. and Creedence Clearwater, that type of stuff. It wasn't really until the movie American Graffiti came out, and in the movie American Graffiti, if you remember it all, there was no mention of Elvis Presley in it at all. It became, and all the songs in the movie American Graffiti, we'd already been performing basically. Right. So it was nothing for us. So we put together a little set, and I had a band called Injun Joe's Medicine Show. It was really hard to book with a name like that, but we were a rock band, so you know. But to be a working band 6 nights a week, we had to play nightclubs. So we came up with the Graffiti Band of Gold, and we'd done the soundtrack from American Graffiti. And like I said, there was no mention of Elvis in they couldn't get, because Elvis was making his comeback in Las Vegas in the early 70s. So we added in there, just as a kind of a joke, we'd say, we're going to do a tribute to Elvis. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I had long hair, I combed it up, tied it into a ponytail, mm-hmm. put a little pompadour, and then I dressed like he did in the 50s and came out. I incorporated a follow spot so you could isolate me, and then it became like mm-hmm. a theater. So doing that was really, it was real lucky for me. So with the ability, the look, and then we were doing the early 50s sound, so we only had like a 4-piece band. Mm-hmm. Elvis only had a 3-piece band. So we got the sound reasonably well. The guys sang the backup. And
how did you get the moves, though? I mean, it's not like you could download it on YouTube back then.
No. The most of the moves were taken from just stills in books. Like, he'd have these moves that he had, mm-hmm. and so we'd just get the books and look at these moves. And in the 1970s, on his first comeback, when he came back, like from the movies, they had a really obscure kind of biography called That's the Way It Is. And it was the first time they actually saw Elvis perform live as he put his band together to perform at the Hilton Hotel. And although it was released, nobody went to see it. They thought, oh, it was another one of them. I call them popcorn movies, but there was another one of those, the movies that he was putting out at the time, not knowing that it was actually real Elvis, right. real music, and the real product.
So you studied that for
Yes, I went, and it was in the wintertime in Jasper. It came out, and of all places, it played in a drive-in movie. I call them drive-out theaters, but drive-out movie theater where they give you a little heater. Right. So I went and I saw this, and I went, wow. And nobody went to see it. I mean, there's probably only 30 cars in this outdoor theater.
So was that when you decided you wanted to
it was the excitement of the performance, and what he created was just, I never seen anything like it. It was just the magnetism and the charisma and the power that he had on stage, and how he put the unit together was just, it just dazzled me. So nobody went to it, and within like 2 or 3 weeks, it was playing in a theater in and Jasper 97th was like down Skid Row in Edmonton, and it was 25 cents to go see it. It went. That's how it went from just the opening of an outdoor theater. Never even got into the movie theaters, I don't think. And then it went right into just 25 cents.
Well, let's hold it there for a second. We have to take a quick break, but I want to find out how you went from that, doing this really a local gig, to becoming a real star in Las Vegas, becoming a millionaire, losing it all. I mean, you have an amazing story. We'll talk more about that after this short break. Back with Morris Bates.